everybody. Hello, Phoenixes. I'm Debbie Levitt, author of Life After Tech, and welcome to episode 3 of our live stream, not to be confused with episode 3 of our podcast. So today we're going to look at an article that I published recently. I'll be reading it out loud for delivery, voice acting, and accessibility. And I will happily take your questions, your comments, your thoughts. We'll turn it into a little bit of a discussion if there's anybody here live. I am broadcasting to YouTube and Twitch as Your Life After Tech, and also to LinkedIn. So let's jump right in with the article. You can find the article as well. It is on Medium and on my Life After Tech LinkedIn newsletter. Please subscribe to one or both of those. And it is called Who Will Be the Last Tech Worker with a Job? It's something I'm calling the Multicorn. It's not enough to be a unicorn anymore. And I should point out that this is opinion and prediction. So you might be like, hey, prove this with data. Hey, I can't totally prove this with data. This is opinion and prediction. You are welcome to see something different, and you are welcome to have a different opinion. But hey, let's talk about it. Put stuff into the chat, and I would like to see what you think. So I'm going to flip over to my screen, and I will start reading out the article, and I hope it makes you think, if nothing else, even if you disagree with me. So here we go. Who will be the last tech worker with a job? The Multicorn. I see every industry and role scrambling right now. They want to be considered high value, unlayoffable, the humans you still need, and better than AI. It's getting so desperate that I'm increasingly seeing roles throwing each other under the bus. You don't need them, but you need us. Role A wants to prove their value and keep their jobs. Role A says we don't really need Role B. Role A claims that they can do Role B's work. We supposedly don't need Role B, but we need their work done. Role A hopes to be the last tech worker with a job. Role A can make their own jobs awful and impossible by taking on their own work and taking on work from a job they're probably not good at. It's an ugly game, and I'm not sure anybody wins. Role A wants to be what I call the Multicorn. Trademark symbol. Why not? It's not enough to be a unicorn anymore. You have to be multiple unicorns. You want to prove that you're great at content, writing, research, data analysis, information architecture, interaction design, visual design and branding, front-end coding, back-end coding, product strategy, and more. Researchers are trying to design. Designers are trying to write and research. Everybody wants to strategize and make the roadmap. Product managers are trying to write, research, and design. Everybody wonders, if they could also code, could they be the last tech worker with a job? People who used to spend thousands of dollars with NNG or Pragmatic are now spending thousands on online courses teaching them product sense, whatever that is, and how to be an AI product manager. I'm not sure if that's a PM using more AI, if it's a PM for AI products, or both. But these courses can sound attractive in a world where everybody scrambles to be the last unlayoffable multicorn. Who will be the last tech worker with a job? Product, UX, engineer, someone else? Let's dive in. UX could be the multicorn, the last tech worker with a job, but UX is already in a very disempowered place. We in UX didn't speak out enough against the things that created poor outputs, poor outcomes, poor working conditions, and other evil. We didn't leave a bad review for that endlessly shitty book that was the opposite of customer-centric. And when non-UXers found that book and didn't see enough of us speaking out against it, they figured that's how you do UX. Social media is full of articles and posts telling us that we have to save our job or our industry by being more strategic, doing more critical thinking, and proving our value. These posts blame you for where we are. Evidently, you had endless support, budget, time, and autonomy, and you've just been doing it all wrong. You didn't speak the business's language. It's very late for that message, considering how everybody was gaslit by years and years of the previous trendy messages like, have everybody on your team do design thinking, everybody's a designer, and teach everybody what you do so they'll really value design. Newsflash, if you teach that what you do is quickly and easily learned, you can help devalue it. I wish UXers could be the Multicorn, shepherding the future AI that tries to do everybody's jobs, but my prediction is that it's another role. Product managers love to tell me that they are strategic. They have the ideas. They have the solutions. Designers should just make the screens that PMs imagine because PMs know the most, they're in charge here, and they will solve the problems. Yet, they are mostly order takers whose jobs are being moved or cut. They're fighting about who they are, their role in a company, and what they do or don't do. We have such high levels of product failure that prominent voices teach that you want failure, and high failure rates are good strategy. Newsflash, high failure rates are not good product management or strategy. Product managers' main course of action has been to announce that they do everything, hoping that'll let them be the last tech worker with a job. They'll be the UX researcher, the UX designer, the UX writer, the project manager, the business analyst, some sort of product strategist, and maybe they'll learn to code. But this hasn't solved their problems either. It's only made them overspend on courses while burning out and scrambling to be the last tech worker with a job. In the age of AI, what does the Multicorn do? This image is a screenshot of a conference presentation that I'll explain now. The above screenshot shows Claire Vaux, Launch Darkly's CPO, speaking at the 2024 Figma conference. The slide shows that a team of one product manager, 5 to 10 software engineers, 1 to 2 UX designers, 1 data analyst, and 1 engineering manager might, in the future, just be you, the product manager. In the AI age, the Multicorn would need to be able to prompt AI to do work in multiple areas: content, writing, research, data analysis, information architecture, interaction design, visual design and branding, front-end coding, back-end coding, and more. The Multicorn would need to be good enough at all of these areas to know when AI gives them something false, the wrong solution, or overly derivative, since AI is rehashing what already exists based on its training. I also think about how many people should be on a cross-functional team if you want work done well, if we had high-quality standards and truly cared about outputs and outcomes, if you didn't want UX to be a bottleneck. That would be 1 product manager, 1 data analyst, 10 engineers and their lead or manager, 1 CX strategist or service designer, 2 UX designers, 1 is a lead, 3 UX researchers, 1 is a lead, 1 UX writer, and 1 visual brand design system designer would probably be part-time, a shared resource across a few teams. The last Multicorn with a tech job replaces 20 people, possibly more. AI isn't up to the job in 2024, but when will it be good enough? Could it be as soon as 2025 or 2026, as I ask in November 2024? Who will be the future Multicorn? Could it be the product manager? I don't think so. If the company were to keep 1 person to replace 14, 20 or more workers, I think they would keep a senior engineer. They can prompt the AI for the design and writing, handle the data, manage themselves, code and fix AI's code, test the code, and manage the product based on mandates from above. The PM who recently learned to code won't be as strong an option as an experienced engineer. A Multicorn team of one plus various AI tools could be the not-so-distant future, but I don't think that role will go to a strategist. I think critical thinking will sadly be optional. Companies will want the order taker who gets the most done in the least time. Tech companies care mostly about working software. It's amazing to think of how many people saw Agile Manifesto Principle number 1, our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable solutions, and only took continuous delivery of working software away from that. Zillions of people who claim to be agile seem to have little or performative care about customer satisfaction and valuable solutions. The best person to make sure we have working software is an engineer. Therefore, I think the future team of one is an experienced engineer. We've already been shown the future. Figma is fine-tuning everything for the product manager who wants to do a little design, but mostly prompt AI to do the design. And that could easily instead be an engineer running the AI. Ultimately, Figma doesn't care who buys the license, but designers haven't been Figma's target audience for some time. Miro is fine-tuning everything for someone who wants Miro's AI to pretend to be cross-functional teammates. Perhaps this person is a team of one, our Multicorn. The following October 2024 screenshot shows Miro's new AI acting as an agile coach to give you feedback on the content of your sticky notes. They call them AI sidekicks and seem to have started with AI agile coaches and product leaders. The screenshot shows AI being activated on a sticky note. It says, Agile coach provides expert advice trained on the work of tech industry thought leaders. I wonder if that awkwardly written blurb came from a person or AI. Congrats, thought leaders. AI read your books and articles and will now pretend to be you, making suggestions on product roadmaps, ideas, and plans. Miro is also starting to offer AI-powered prototyping, also aimed at product managers. Here's a sentence from their Innovation Workspace announcement. Quote, your product manager can build a custom AI action shortcut to trigger turning user research questions into a full interview script with a single click. No coding ability required. End quote. Can you imagine being a researcher or designer at Miro and watching them undo your entire industry with AI features for product managers? I can't. What about all of the AI startups that plan to be your coworkers or replace you in the near future? Then my image on the screen is Y Combinator's 2024 market map, which is mostly AI startups, many of them in content, research, dev, data analytics and optimization, sales, and some workflow optimization. At this point, it's unhealthy to imagine or say that your job is safe, or that AI can't or won't take your job, or that insert human action or emotion here is so important to your job that AI can't do your job without you. Figma and Miro already disagree. AI can do these jobs without the people they were trained and modeled on. Hey, LinkedIn, thanks for watching. Let's see your comments and questions. But remember, the argument that AI can't do your job without you or you're better than AI at your job, that argument only works if your company cares about quality. If your company mostly cares about deadlines, money spent, money saved, and profits, then your company might not care that AI doesn't do your work that well yet. So what's your plan? Most people I speak to are waiting. They're waiting for things to turn around. They expect companies who gleefully laid people off, saw their stock price rise, and managed to maintain good revenue and profits to suddenly believe they need lots of people to come back and at their old salaries. Some jobs have come back, but have you seen these salaries? I've recently interviewed for senior level UX researcher jobs paying as low as $37.50 per hour. Before 2024, the least I had been paid as a senior UXer was $40 per hour, and that was in 2012. We seem to be moving backwards, especially if the company needs you in an expensive city, and especially if they expect you to move there at your expense. Don't wait. Don't wait for your next layoff, the anniversary of your last layoff, or for you to feel more desperate or afraid. Start planning what's next, or what else you can do in addition to a tech career. That's the focus of my new book, Life After Tech. You don't have to leave tech, but you should have a plan, and you might want to take action on it. I'm trying to stay in tech, but I'm also actively working on non-tech work areas that are just starting to make me a little money. And that is the article. Thanks to the people who joined. Hey, good crowd on LinkedIn today. I can see how many of you are watching. Thank you. You've got 12, which is more than last week, so we're growing. And hopefully, I didn't check YouTube. Hopefully some people there as well. Head over there now. If you have any comments or questions, you can put them in the chat. You can put them even in we're on Twitch as well, right? Yeah. Your Life After Tech. And please subscribe over on YouTube or Twitch. Sometimes the stream ends on LinkedIn and it's out of my control. So I'd love to see more subscribers here, and also joining our free Discord community. We've got lots of resources, so if you head to the QR code should be lifeaftertech.info, and there's a resources page with all of the free things that we offer, as well as a couple of non-free things like the book and my coaching. But we've got lots of free resources as well. So if anybody has any thoughts, questions, comments, disagreements, please leave them now. Otherwise, we're counting down the time to when this little webinar and live stream ends. And I will be back streaming on Life After Tech Wednesday. Usually every Wednesday I do my live Ask Me Anything and stuff like that, which you can also send to ahead of time at lifeaftertech.info on the resources page. Hi, Ana Lucia. Always good to see you. Ana Lucia says, to be honest, I think this is a ticking time bomb. Over-relying on AI will end up giving them headaches. I'm just not sure when it will happen. You know, I keep hearing things like that, and my gut feeling is I don't think AI is going to be the time bomb. People keep saying to me, where is AI's crash the plane moment? And when AI crashes the plane, then people will stop using it, right? And we'll all get hired back. And I don't think so. Could it happen? It could happen, but my prediction is that it won't happen. And I could be wrong, and I'd like to be wrong, but I predict that we're not going to see the time bomb or the AI crashes the plane. I don't think we're going to see those moments. There's definitely going to be exploding bombs and crashed planes, figuratively and possibly literally, but I don't think people are going to stop investing in AI. I don't think they're going to stop moving work tasks or entire jobs to AI. I think the siren song of how inexpensive they think AI is. Monica, we'll get to Monica's comment in a moment. Monica was saying this last week on the show. Thank you, Monica. So as I was saying to respond to Ana Lucia, I think that we're going to see a lot of AI cringe and unpleasant and disaster moments, and we've already seen a bunch, and I think we're going to see more, but I'm not seeing that slow down companies' adoption of it. They still seem very excited about where it's going, and I think that when the bomb goes off or the plane crashes, someone will apologize and say, well, AI is always getting better, so we assume the next version will be better. That's just my prediction, and I'd love to be wrong. So let's come on back in a few months and tell old me that I was wrong, right? Monica says, good news. My request to add your book, Life After Tech, to my local library was successful. I encourage all of you to request it at your local library. That's right. You can buy my book. You can listen to the audiobook. You can get the digital version, which is less expensive. All of this are on the lifeaftertech.info site if you click book. Or you can go to your library. You can also request it through bookstores. You can let them know that the book is set up on Ingram Spark, or sometimes you don't have to tell them that. They just search Ingram Spark since it's a main distributor, and they get to buy the book at a great, great discount and add it to the library. So yeah, I remember people did that with my Customers Know You Suck book as well. So thank you, Monica, for adding my book to your library. Ana Lucia says, AI is great, I'm not against it, but people are over relying on it. It's still not ready for things like that. People are using it for too many things and not even using their brains, in my humble opinion. Look, I agree with you. You know that there are a few AI systems I like and many AI systems I don't like, and that I'm generally wary and nervous. I'm trying to be very careful about how I use it. I read terms and conditions. If it looks like it's going to train on my stuff or absorb my stuff or do things I don't want, I'm not using those companies, or I'm leaving those companies, or I'm opting out, hopefully before I'm opted in. So I think that, AI is not always great. I don't think we can even say AI is great, because Ana Lucia, your previous comment was it's a ticking time bomb. So I think it's great in places and it's a ticking time bomb in other places, but I'm still predicting that companies are not going to reduce their interest in it, their investments in it, and their reliance on it. I10 says, your book is probably still in my old workplace. Haha, hope they flip through it now and then. Yeah, that's probably the Customers Know You Suck one. Thanks for leaving them that. They probably need it. As many workplaces do, not singling out any particular one. But yeah, ultimately, I think that a lot of the large cross-functional teams that some of us are on now, I think we're going to see at a slow or medium pace those teams getting smaller, because someone's going to say, well, we don't need the UX designer. We have this AI that can do the design. And, we don't need the UX researcher, because maybe the product manager can talk to people and the AI will do some of this research. The AI will write the research or pretend to be the users. We just have to ask the AI what people want. And we're already seeing these systems existing, and so we can't be like, whoa, that's ridiculous, that'll never happen. We already see these companies selling that product. So, these things are out there. And then you have companies like Figma and Miro, which are very popular companies, introducing tools that seem very clearly designed to replace people, like Miro's AI sidekicks that are currently pretending to be an agile coach, and interestingly enough, a product leader. So if Miro's design AI is aimed at product managers and your other AI is aimed at being a product leader, then maybe eventually you don't need the product manager or the product leader. Who do you need? That's the question. Ana Lucia says, I think people are expecting AI to be the best thing ever and outcome will be mediocre. Hopefully companies won't accept mediocrity as a standard. I don't think AI itself is bad. How people use it or abuse it is bad. Sure. But then, again, how much of this is or feels in our control? So that's the problem. And that's why a lot of people say to me, look, AI is not going to take my job because AI doesn't do my job well. AI can't be a UX researcher and strategist. And I go, yeah, but when's the last time that mattered? If you have a company that is really, really looking at your performance and really understands your job, let's say the job is UX researcher, the company really understands what you do. They really value it. They care about quality in your work. You're allowed to do really good work. Then okay, they know that that's not replaced by an AI as of when I'm recording this. That even in many cases, your tasks can't even be sped up because the AI for some of this stuff is still not good. But that's at this super optimal, dreamy company that we're imagining. And that's where this gets funky. We're imagining these companies and thinking, well, surely they understand that my job can't be replaced by AI. Earlier this year, I had some random on LinkedIn tell me that service designers could be completely replaced by AI, which to me is like, that's the last job that is going to be replaced by AI, or at least should be. So these are the things that I wonder about. Like, I remember last year in 2023, AI's ability to summarize a conversation between two people was pretty bad. Think about a user research interview or market research interview or just a conversation between two people. And AI just missed everything. A lot of stuff was hallucinated. And we all looked at this and said, whoa, no way is AI going to take our jobs, boop, bop, a beep. Well, here we are at the end of 2024, and I found an AI system, a couple of them, that really do an incredible job summarizing conversations between people, catching key moments, catching discussed action items, catching some subtlety. Now, are they perfect? No. Do they hallucinate? I've noticed a little bit. I've noticed one note. So far, one note in every summarized conversation I've received has been a hallucinated point. But that's much lower than it was last year. And these things are getting better at an exponential speed. So at what point will someone say, just feed all the user interviews into AI and whatever you get from that is good enough, just go fast? That could happen. I think that could happen next year. And then at what point does someone say, well, just have the AI do the interview? Or what point does someone say, just have AI pretend to be the customers? Or any of these things. And so is it a bit of a slippery slope argument? Yeah, absolutely. I understand that I'm giving you a slippery slope argument, but I'm still worried. What if there is a slope? And what if that slope is slippery? If we're not prepared for that, then we're going to be surprised and in a lot of trouble. Hey, Yesterday in Gaming, good to see you. Companies will always attempt to settle for the lowest common denominator. People will also accept less for the sake of convenience. Look at how streamlined the internet is now compared to the more words coming. Sorry, YouTube limits how long your comments can be, so you might have to chop them into pieces and break them up into pieces. But yes, I generally agree with at least what you've said so far, which is that I do think that right now companies want to spend as little money as possible. And we see that in terms of layoffs, because we know that in many cases they're laying off great people, sometimes great leaders, sometimes great visionaries, sometimes strategic people, fantastic workers, people who pushed out amazing products and services and features and innovations, and then they go, oh, well, we pushed that out, we'll get rid of all those people. They're numbers on a spreadsheet that I don't want to see. Like Miro just released a mountain of features, whole new design, AI stuff, all kinds of things, to try to be more unique in the marketplace, more competitive. And then they laid off 18% of the company. And from the things I read online, the anonymous things I read online, it was a lot of the people responsible for pushing out all the new features. Yesterday in Gaming says, look at how streamlined the internet is now compared to the early 2000s, where websites had horrible usability issues but had personality. When it comes to technology, people want to be okay with flat and boring experiences for a lot of things, which AI can do. Sure, if you are that middle of the bell curve person, if you're okay with good enough or mediocre or so-so or just check it off the list, then there's lots of things AI can do and can do okay. And if it's not doing it okay now, it'll do it better next year, like what I've noticed with summarizing conversations. So these are the things that I worry about, because we used to say, oh, I can't use AI to summarize a user research conversation I had with someone. It's never going to catch some of those important moments. Now it's catching some of the important moments, and the hallucinations are much fewer. So then the argument of AI can't do this work is a weaker argument. It's not a zero argument. You can make some argument there, and it depends which AI system you're using. I think some of you saw my LinkedIn post the other day where I asked Miro's image AI to make a visualization for an exercise I was trying to create, and I had created it with the help of someone else, the fantastic Ilaria. But AI imagined someone that everyone says looks like the Voynich manuscript or something out of Middle Earth. Ana Lucia says the reason behind this AI over-reliance and layoffs is it's simply greed. They want to lower costs and keep the profits in their own pockets. Totally agree, but it means it's a running train that's hard for us to stop. It's hard for us to be like, don't be so greedy, hire good people. Yesterday in Gaming says, I look at how all of the tech companies want to emulate each other and stakeholders want to copy what this other successful company is doing well. AI is fantastic at copying and pasting. That's right. I've also made the same point. Great point. And I agree. I've said it before as well, where if you are okay with mediocre, if you are okay with not innovating, if you are okay with just rehashing what the AI's already been trained to do and know, sure, put that out there. But let's not pretend you're innovative. Let's not pretend you've invented something. Ana Lucia says, it makes me so angry whenever I hear a layoff and then a news article comes up about how the CEO just got a millionaire raise. Yeah, I tend to feel angry when I see a layoff and then the jobs are open on LinkedIn, very often for a lot less than the laid off people were paid. So we get it. We see what you're doing here. You're not fooling anyone. I always get angry when someone announces a big AI product and then lays off people, especially the people who made them the AI product, as if they now don't need those people. So I think in general, I'm angry about layoffs. I think many of them have been unnecessary. I don't think companies are cutting unnecessary people. I don't think companies are cutting bottom performers. But all of the layoffs and the uncertainty have led a lot of people to wonder who will be the last person standing, which is why I wrote my article and I invented the Multicorn, because I think we are headed towards smaller teams. I think the first people we're going to see hired less are going to be designers, because I think once companies have a design system, they're going to feel like just feed that into the AI and someone else will make the designs. So I think we're going to unfortunately see design jobs reduced. Again, this is my prediction. I can't prove it. I can't guarantee it. I hope to be wrong, but I think designers, especially more visual designers, will be cut once the design system is made. And if AI makes a great design system, then maybe the designers aren't hired at all. Someone I saw on LinkedIn was watching, was it Miro's? I think it was Miro's event a few weeks ago, and I'm paraphrasing, but they basically came out and made it sound like designers are annoying people to work with, so just use Miro's AI. Says Monica. Ana Lucia says, if people stop speaking up, no one will be standing. I think they stopped speaking up a while ago, and I understand that. I understand that a lot of people weren't speaking up to begin with for what at the time were bad reasons, and now they're not speaking up because they don't want to be the next to be laid off. I remember there was a survey either early this year or sometime last year, and I think it was 43% of UX designers believed they had been laid off or marked for layoffs because they had spoken out about something in the past. So I think that is I think it's hard for, I'm still promoting people to speak up, but in a measured way. Like, you can't just go running around the office yelling. We have to focus on quality. Over on the CX-CC channel, go check out episode 251 about shifting conversations to quality. No one cares about UX isn't UI. No one wants to hear you fighting about design thinking. No one wants to hear how important your job is. Just go talk about quality. If quality matters, then we don't use bad AI. We don't hire people who are bad at the work. There's a whole bunch of different things that happen when company companies invest in quality. But if companies don't invest in quality, then it's very hard to say, you need to hire Debbie, you need to hire whoever, because we're good enough. And that's just it. It's just, I think in my Customers Know You Suck book, I think I just called it like a loop of mediocrity. And if your company's happy with a loop of mediocrity, you don't need consultants, you don't need experts, you don't need strategists, you don't need critical thinkers, you don't need a lot of people that before this or last year or whatever were so crucial at companies. They used to pay top dollar for these people to come and stay and fix things and strategize and predict the future or create the future. And now people are like, whoa, that's a lot of money. What can we get for a third of that? Or ask AI what we should do. Ana Lucia says, do you want a new book? AI will write it for you. Do you want a new game? AI will do it for you. Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of, I'm not the only person asking questions like what jobs are going to be left. I don't know. I don't know what jobs are going to be left. I only know that things seem to be moving in a non-human direction and that workplaces seem to be increasingly toxic. Another reason why I'm moving a little bit into more coaching of people. So please check out deltacx.coach. Plug. Thank you everybody for this great discussion. We're at over 36 minutes, so probably best to wrap up so it doesn't turn into too long of a video. But I wanted to make sure that we got through the article and that we have a plan. That's the bottom line. You don't know which tech job is going to be your last. I don't know if my last tech job is in the future, and I don't know if my last tech job is the one that ended this year. I don't know. So I've been planning what I'm going to do next, and now I've been taking action. And I think that's just the healthiest thing for everybody. Plan something, take action if you're ready. Don't take action if you're not ready, but have a plan. Any hope for job seekers in this market? Some, not a lot, some. Somebody is getting jobs, but I think the deceptive thing is sometimes the person who announces I got the job comes suspiciously a month or two after someone else announcing on LinkedIn that they were laid off from a job with the same title. And so I am not sure that companies are growing right now or adding people. I worry, and this isn't happening everywhere, but I worry that they are just removing higher paid people to bring in lower paid people. Like, for example, some of you who follow me on LinkedIn or follow the Life After Tech Medium publication or the Life After Tech LinkedIn newsletter know that I recently had to turn down a UX job that I really wanted. There was a lot I liked about it. I didn't love the pay, but I liked a lot about the job. It was a 2-month contract. I've worked in this business a very long time, and I have never been offered a 2-month contract. That is really short. Now, they said there was a possibility of it being renewed after 2 months, but that is really short. And when I think about who this company is and what this company does and the department that this was going to be part of, and this was going to be a high-level UX research job like lead UX researcher, senior UX researcher, I imagine they have more than 2 months of work. I mean, what can I get done in 2 months? 2 studies? 3 studies? Especially if they want quality and if they want generative, it's not going to be a study a week. If you want quality and generative, each of these studies takes weeks, and it sounded like I was going to be a team of one, so that's going to have to go fast. So they have more than 2 months of work, but yet it was a 2-month contract, and they made it sound like when that renews, maybe it's like 3 months, like it goes by quarters. It didn't sound like, oh, if we like you for 2 months, we'll offer you a year contract. It sounded like every 3 months they decide if they're keeping you. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that. Again, I can't prove that. There's no facts. That's my prediction. My prediction is that we're going to see lower paying, more temporary jobs so that companies can pay you less and get rid of you more easily, or have people come and go as the companies decide they need humans. Yesterday in Gaming says 2 months is wild. Sounds like they already have a plan. They wanted someone else to advocate and they needed an expert on the team to convince others. Who knows? Odd. Yeah, it sounded like they needed some research done, and they need people. But I realized for how low the pay was, I just couldn't say yes. Even though there was a lot I liked about it, it looked like I might even lose money working there. So that really didn't make sense. I was trying to make some money. There was another job that I was a finalist for but not selected, and that was a 3-month contract. It's very strange. And I don't mind contracting, and I don't mind short-term jobs, and I don't mind things ending. So this doesn't bother me that much, but I've never seen so few longer-term jobs and so many very short-term jobs. Even when I did a lot of contracting some years ago before the pandemic, a lot of my contracts were 6 months, 9 months, 1 year. I worked at Macy's for 2 years, and that was on a contract. So I'm used to seeing contracts that are 6 months, a year, and with the possibility of renewal. And this was 2 months with the possibility to get another 3 months, and then who knows after that. And I was like, wow, these are really short episodes. Monica says, I heard someone call it fractional designer. Yeah, I think fractional is a word we're going to see more, but it's a little bit Princess Bride. Like, this does not mean what you think it means. Fractional originally had, I think, a meaning that made more sense. But now I think people are just going to use it as the term for freelancer. Because ultimately, if a lot of our work is freelance or contract or even full-time jobs, I think are going to feel more freelancey, contracty. Because if they can hire you and then 6 months later or a year later or whatever, a few months later, lay you off, it kind of feels like it was a short contract or a freelance gig. So I think people have to be more ready to consider these short contracts, which means doing better math and spreadsheets around your budget to make sure that you don't take a job where you're going to feel like you're losing money. Like I had to say no to the 2-month contract because when I did the spreadsheet, and you can read my article about it if you want, I realized I was probably going to lose money doing the job or maybe walk away with a few $1,000s. And it just seemed like 10 weeks away from home to maybe put a few $1,000s in the bank, plus all the trouble it was going to add, it didn't pay off in the end. Normally I get double what that company was offering me. At a rate of double, it could have been worth the trouble. It could have been worth having that money in the bank. So I don't care if they want to call it fractional or contract or freelance or agency or consulting or whatever. I am very not caught up on titles and whatever. I would just love to do some work that puts a reasonable amount of money in the bank and doesn't end up in the negative. I'm too old to go into debt to do someone's work, like I did in 2011. So with that, we'll try again almost 10 minutes later to wrap up. But yeah, these conversations are great. And remember, I'm live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Italy time. Check your clocks. Hit the QR code and go to our lifeaftertech.info. Hit the resources page. Join us, follow us, join the Discord community. I would love to see more people there and be active there. You're anonymous. Go ahead, say what's on your mind. This is my space, and my space is for you. Not my space, but this is Debbie Levitt's space. I have no sponsors. We have no butts to kiss. You can be anonymous, and you can swear, and you can pour your heart out, and you can say what you want. So come on over to the Life After Tech Discord. We want to see you there. So otherwise, keep those questions coming. Send them over for the Wednesday night Ask Me Anything, and hopefully I'll see everybody then. Have a great rest of your Monday, and catch you soon. Bye.
It's whatever, and it's never better.